Plato and Alex Macdowell. Right, well, all the questions we're going to ask today have been submitted by you guys over the course of the day, and we'll start as we mean to go on by lowering the tone right from the start. This is from Philip Brewer to, I'm assuming, to Jason. My neighbour is selling his caravan complete with a half-empty bottle of Cala gas. Interested?
Before I address that ridiculous comment, afternoon everybody. Wait, who submitted that question? Come forward and take a slap. Put your head down, you're going to get something for that. Put your head down. Put your head down. Don't be silly. Let's not talk about that stupid car, shall we not? I mean the Ford Farce. Is that what it's called? Ford Farce.
Okay, next question was asked to Alex from Ainsley Martin. What's the best way to get into motorsport without money? That's from Ainsley's mum.
It's probably the most expensive sport in the world, so without money, obviously sponsorship, you don't want to pay yourself. They've got racing, like Racing Steps Foundation and other companies like that will fund you, and Red Bull, but that's the only other way you can do it.
So it's quite hard then.
You could rob a bank. That's another. It's been done actually. My old man did it.
Okay, this is from Richard Jenner Jones. We'll ask Jason this. What was the most memorable battle you've ever had in British touring cars?
Well, that's a good question. I think probably the battle for the title in 2001 with Ivan Moller was pretty intense. You know, we were teammates in the same team, now team orders, and there was a fair bit of shenanigans went on that year. Proud to report, I dished out a fair few, and obviously received a few as well. But obviously the best man won.
Right, a bit of a interesting wording of this question. We'll ask Alex. This is from Matt McLean Howells. What is your best crash and where?
I wouldn't say you can have a best crash. Probably at Fruxton when I was doing 100. It's quite exciting when you go off and you're doing 100 and there's a tyre wall right in front of you, so it's probably that one, yeah.
A question from Jim Kennedy. I assume this is meant for Jason. Would you be Matt Neal's teammate if asked politely?
I wouldn't have an issue with that. Obviously, one person would earn more than the other. But yeah, I wouldn't have an issue with that. Provided it wasn't his dad's team. Then I might not get a fair treat.
I'll ask this to both drivers. In the first and second races today, were your tyres going off trying to catch the Fords, or were you just giving up? Were your tyres wearing out trying to catch the Fords, or was their pace just too much in those first and second races?
A bit of both. I think they're a bit too quick on the straights, and you know, it's a bit unfair, but we're trying to catch them, and by the end, when we have caught them, you know, the tyres are struggling, so yeah, it's a bit unfair.
I mean, does it? Well, I just have to put it back to you guys. Does it look right? What's going on? It doesn't, does it? So yeah, we're pushing as hard as we can, but you know, when you're in the car, you have to obviously look at what's going on around you, and you then do take the decision of do I press on in this ridiculous quest and route my tyres and then potentially come under attack from behind, or just think, oh, actually they're in a different set of rules to what we are. You know, so effectively, yeah, we just give up because it's a pointless exercise. It's ruining our sport, if I'm really honest, and I'm really, you know, we're all really upset about it because it's a farce. We'll wait and see. You know, for all the real die-hard fans that love what touring cars are about, it's about teams and manufacturers competing with very similar equipment, and that creates great racing, creates overtaking, which is real overtaking, where you have to think about it and work. And obviously, in touring cars, there's a fair bit of argy-bargy, but generally, it's difficult to overtake, and it takes no skill to just blast past people on the straight like you've got another 500 horsepower. I mean, it's just really very silly. But officially, I'm gagged. I can't talk about this. Oh, just have.
Okay, so a question from Corey, which I'll ask you as well, Jason. Are you a good passenger when being driven by someone, or do you look for the brace pedal the whole time?
I mostly look for the middle pedal, yeah. I'm not actually, I'm a terrible passenger. Yeah, I'm probably worst of all when my wife is driving me, because she is really quite quick. And even when I sit next to Tiff, you know, if I'm not in the right, Tiffany's off fifth gear, if I'm not in the right frame of mind, or if I've had a late night the night before and slightly edgy in the morning, it really turns me over, if I'm honest.
I think that this next one's intended for Jason, but we'll ask this to Alex. This is from Joseph Harrison. Who's been your best teammate all of the years?
I'll have to say Jason. But he's a bit too quick, so yeah, I've had good teammates in the Clios. But yeah, this year it's been quite fun.
Okay, this is from Tony Howe. How do you compare Formula 1 to what you drive in touring cars here?
How do I compare it?
Yeah.
They've got stick-out wheels, we don't. You know, it's a completely different thing. You know, that is a technological race. It is what it is. You know, I enjoy watching Formula 1. It would be nice if there was a bit more overtaking, but you know, we all understand why that is, and aerodynamics in cars and all this. But I think, you know, what the BTCC is it's a formula where there is great racing, and there is the opportunity to have these sorts of events and to come and see us in the pits. And you know, unless you've got the gold plated pass in Formula 1, you can't get anywhere near the drivers or see what they're doing. So I think, you know, we've definitely got something which they can perhaps learn from. I understand it won't happen because of what Formula 1 is, but I think the BTCC is a great championship, really great.
I will ask this to Alex. How long does it take you to get into touring car level?
As soon as you've got a team willing to take you on, really. It's quite tough to come into it with just 3 years of experience. But I think as long as you've won a championship on the Toka package, you know, you can mix it up in touring cars with the good guys. So as long as you're a race winner and proven, I think, you know, you need to make the step up quite soon and get amongst it.
Okay, next one to Jason. Probably something everyone would want to know. If you could drive for any other team on this year's grid, who would you drive for?
In all honesty, I'm happy where I am. I'm with the best team. Yeah, nothing more to say than that. That's not politicking, that's just fact. You know, RML I'm lucky, this is my third year with them. I drove with them in the first year when I was with Sayat in 2004, and they're one of the world's finest teams, not just in touring cars but across the board. You know, they've got fantastic engineers. Their ethic is right. You know, they want to win. They're very competitive. They're really upset when we come second, and you know, that's my philosophy. You know, second is first of the losers, and that is ingrained in their blood. And you know, they like to have a bit of fun as well, and that's good. And obviously their cars aren't too shabby. So all in all, I'm happy. I think if you ask that question to all the other guys in the grid, I know who they'd say they want to be with. Probably in my ovals now.
Okay, we'll ask this to Alex. This is from Joshua Berry. What would you do in the future if you don't race?
If I don't race, probably just be a rich businessman, you know. It's quite, I think, you know, as long as I can stick in and get good results, hopefully I won't be in that position. You know, I'd like like to do what Jason does. Driving a car for a living is a lot better than sitting at a desk, which I do when I'm not racing, so it kind of drives me on a lot more because I don't want to do that job. So yeah, hopefully it won't happen.
Okay, we've got about 5 minutes left. We'll do another 5 or 6 questions, and we'll do a quick raffle as well. This is to you, Jason. If the F1 pundit Eddie Jordan was here today, what question...
I would pull his wig off. Actually, I've got to tell you a story. A good pal of mine bought Eddie's house in Oxford 3-4 years ago, and I can say this actually, I can't tell you this. And in the wardrobe, in the master bedroom, it's a fitted wardrobe, you know, quite sprazzy doors. And you open one sliding cabinet, and inside there is 4 busts of like mannequins' heads lined up, and that's for his 4. It's like weekly wig look. And if you watch his hair, if you watch him on TV, his hair does get longer, and then it gets shorter, and he has a different one for different various times of the month. But yeah, it's a little insight into the world of Eddie Jordan.
Okay, we'll ask one more question to each driver. This is quite a good one from Andy Hensley in Attleborough. To Jason, do you drive quicker when you need a wee? Because I do.
I guess I do actually. Yeah, I suppose I do. Yeah, I always need a wee when I get out of the car. And it's funny, every time you arrive at home, we all need a wee, don't we? So yeah.
Okay, last question to Alex. We'll reverse how this one is worded. This is from Carl Warburton, I think. What team orders do you have, and are you allowed to pass Jason?
I think as long as Jason's ahead of Matt, if I was in the lead, you know, I could go on and win that race. If he was under pressure from Matt, obviously I'd think about letting him past anyway, even if there weren't team orders.
He's brewing that for a kiss. Yeah. We generally don't have any team orders, nothing. We're free to race. We're just not allowed to fire each other off, which is pretty standard stuff. So yeah, it's good. That's how it should be, to be fair.
Well, guys, let's thank Alex and Jason for answering those questions. I'm sorry we couldn't answer all the questions today, but you guys have been so good putting so many questions to us. We need to be here for a couple of hours to go through them all. But we'll put them all in the bucket now, and I'll ask each driver to pick out one of these, and the winner will come out to pick a jacket up.
John Atwell.